Hello, I'm in my bathroom today, makeupless, so that I could show you how I do my foundation. I found this really great addition to my contouring routine. So first I'm going to take and cover up my dark circles. I have, my face has been washed, moisturized, and primed. And now I'm just taking my Bobbi Brown corrector and getting rid of these dark circles. Now I'm going to be using three different kinds of foundation. One that's lighter than my tone, one that is my tone, and one that's darker than my tone. So I'm going to start out by highlighting nose, your eyebrows, the top of your forehead, things like that. So basically I'm just going to take and draw a line straight down my nose. And I'm going to cross that line on top just above my brows, and I'm using the lightest color for this. I'm going to go up here on both sides. I'm going to get right here because you have the hollow here, but you want some light here to add dimension, because otherwise it's just a hollow. So, and it will all just kind of look the same. The end of my chin. I have a little bit of a chin dimple, and if I wanted to I could darken the chin dimple, but I'm not going to do that today. And right above here, and then just to lighten them up, I like to do these little dark spots on the side of my nose. So there, I've highlighted all the spots I want highlighted. Now I'm going to take my dark. Some people like to do this really dark, but because I'm so fair, I go just a shade or two darker than my natural skin tone. And I would suggest anyone who's fair like me do the same. So can you see that? I'm basically just painting in the areas where I want a little bit of shadow to show. A little bit here and a little bit here, just to kind of darken up that side of my nose. You can slim your nose and shape your face pretty well doing this method. Some people, when they contour their cheeks, they stop there, but I have kind of flat looking cheeks, so I continue it up, and then I also bring it down here to kind of darken up that spot. Now same thing here. I'll bring it a little bit up to give myself a appearance of more of a cheekbone, and then bring it down here. I also do just below on both sides to kind of darken up the jawline, and then I definitely do under here to slim too. And I do here on the sides. Someone once suggested that if you do if you have a longer forehead, then you can shadow around here on the top of your forehead. But I have a pretty short forehead, so I won't be doing that today. So now I'm all painted up. As you can see, I've got my dark and my light. So now I'm going to take my natural matching foundation, the kind that is the right color for me. I'm going to take my brush of choice, the e.l.f. powder brush. I like to use this for my foundation. Okay, now I'm just going to start stippling my makeup on. You don't need too much of your actual foundation because you're going to have color coming from these. So unless you really go dark on a daily basis, you don't need much. So just stipple it everywhere. Okay. Now once it's all stippled on, you're going to want to start just moving it in This is a real subtle effect. If you don't need much contouring, I mean, if you have a pretty strong cheekbone and pretty thin hollows here, and you know, you don't really have anything that you feel like you need to hide or anything, then you could stop here and, you know, you'd be done. But I like a little bit more than this. So since I am such a light person, and for anyone else who's light skinned, I take and mix two products. I have the blush and bronzer palette, and I also have this $1 e.l.f. Powder, face powder. And what I do is I mix the two. I dip once, twice into the bronzer, and then once, twice into the lighter powder. Blow off so that you don't end up with any real dark areas. And then you start here in this corner and just kind of start circling around. I kind of make a little oval shape, going where I want the blush or the bronzer to go to give me my shadow. I make sure to just do a little bit. I kind of make a C with the brush. See, it's normally flat, but I make a little C, and I add right here just to give myself a little bit more of an appearance of having cheekbones and big rounded cheeks instead of flatter looking. It just gives them a little bit more. You see that? See the difference? So instead of being flat, I have a cheek. So I brush that out and bring it down a little bit more. And bring it up and around, just like I did with the foundation. This is just kind of adding to what the foundation has already kind of done. Make sure you don't go too dark, because you don't want to look like you have a dirty face, or, you know, you just whacked out some sort of starvation diet or something. But if you just use it in the right places and in the right ways, you can really enhance those features you want to enhance. Okay. So you can see the difference from one side to the other already. You can take, if you want, and kind of thin up your neck if you feel like your neck needs to be thicker or longer, I mean thinner or longer, just by going in a little V shape on the sides of your trachea, your windpipe there, and then down the outside of your neck underneath your ear. That'll kind of enhance the muscles here. There's two highlights here and two highlights here. So if you darken what's around it, get down into those little V's there, then you're going to look like, you see that V there? So you're going to look, it's going to look thinner. And you can also do this little hollow here if you like a little bit there. I don't usually do that part, but you can if you choose to. Now I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Just kind of start blending it in that oval shape. You gotta make sure you go all the way back, because you don't want to look like you did this. You don't want, like I said, you don't want to look dirty, and you don't want to look like you're trying to contour your face. You want it to be nice and natural, just so that people don't notice those spots that you don't like. See, just so you know where I'm starting when I try to create my cheekbone, in case you're like me and have the flat looking cheeks. I'm starting where I see that line that meets my nose, and I'm going out from there. Don't go any further in than that. I'm going out from there in a kind of circular sweeping motion. I'm doing kind of like this. So I've got my half moon shaped brush and I'm making a half moon. Once again, make sure that you're getting into the hairline up to the ear. You want to do the temple again. And once again, make sure you're getting into that hairline whenever you're doing anything near to your hairline, because you don't want it to look fake. And if you don't continue the color into the hairline, it's going to look fake. Okay, so if you don't like the size of your nose, if you think it's, you know, too wide or too long, you can take and put just a little bit on the side of your nose. You kind of want to follow that triangular shape down from your eye right here, down to the tip and over, so that you keep it natural. You don't want to do too much, especially with your nose, because you don't want your nose to be really obviously done, because that will look really bad. And for this, I tend to use this brush and just shape it with my hands a little more whenever I do anything like this. So I take it down the end of my nose and across. My kids have not been sleeping, and my my circles under my eyes are defeating all attempts at covering them. If there's ever a time when you feel like you've done too much, like, you know, say you feel like there's too much there, you should always try to go less, because you can always add more. But if you do find that you've done too much and you've gone too far and you've got all this, you know, you've got maybe a dark black or dark brown stripe here, you don't have to, you know, wash your face and take it all off and start again. Basically, you just get a clean powder brush, not the one you did your foundation with, but for an example, a clean powder brush, and just blend and blend and blend and blend and blend that area until it, you know, comes back to what you want and looks the way you want it to look. I like contour just enough, especially for real life, not, you know, YouTube, where you can wear a little more makeup and it's okay. It doesn't look unnatural. I like for a daytime look, for a real look, just to be, you know, far more real. Now you're going to want to take a highlighter. You can use you can get a powder that's lighter than your own color. You can use your, you know, lighter eyeliner, or eye shadows, you know, like a white or something like that. I'm using the e.l.f. Shimmering Facial Whip. If you just gently dab a little bit in the areas you want highlighted. Don't go crazy with this stuff, because this stuff really turns, I mean, unless you're maybe not worried about being overly shiny. If you want a really shimmery look, then that works just fine, but I like it very, very natural. So I just put a little bit back here toward my upper cheekbones. I put a little bit on the end of the nose and a little bit just here on my upper brow, and then the chin and the upper lip. Just a tiny bit, and it gives it just a little bit of highlight, a little bit of shimmer, but doesn't make it look greasy.